What's up YouTube, this is Tech Time today, and I decided to try my hand at commentating. So I'm going to be doing some commentary over Age of Conan Unchained. And this commentary will be focusing on a debate of free-to-play MMOs versus subscription-based MMOs. Now, on the surface this looks like a simple debate between free-to-play and subscription-based. But as you delve deeper, it becomes more complicated. With free-to-play, there are many different types. You have free-to-play where everything is free, and then you have microtransactions where you can buy items. This is probably one of the less popular types of free-to-play because people view it as like a pay-to-win style. You give them your money and then see that it doesn't take much skill. You just need a limited budget for the game and you can basically be the best player at it. So a lot of people find that type of free-to-play as the least desired. But it is a good free-to-play. I mean, I don't have any problem with it. It can be annoying to find players that lack skill that just bought the best stuff in the game, but I mean, it's free. You take what you get. So, then there is the Age of Conan free-to-play model. Very limited. There's a good number of classes in Age of Conan. I'm going to say 12 classes, maybe. And this only gives you access to 4 classes. You have very limited amount of dungeons and ways that you can do. No siege access. There is PvP access, but not all the maps, I think. So, you can play through all the levels, but you have a limited amount of content that you can actually use. So it gives you a much better flavor of the game than a trial period does, but then it holds a lot of content back for you. So if you want access to all the other content, you're going to have to pay the full $15. And I think while this might not be the best option for free to play, it is definitely the most viable for companies because you get the microtransactions still for the people that are on free-to-play, and the people that like it enough will pay the $15. So it really gives you 2 sources of income, the free-to-play people and the premium members, so I think this is the most viable for companies. And then there is the last free-to-play method, which some people may not consider free-to-play, but some do. It's the Guild Wars and Guild Wars 2 method, where you buy the game itself for $50 and then no monthly fees for the rest of the time. Some consider it free to play, some consider it not free to be, but that is my personal favorite for free to play methods because you get the full game. There's no microtransactions to just buy weapons to get to the best of the game. There's nothing held back from you where you have to pay the subscription fee. You just buy the game for $50. You have everything. So, definitely my favorite. But then you have the subscription-based games, which have been the standard for a long, long time. Games like World of Warcraft, Rift, Ion, Warhammer Online, surprisingly still has subscription. I would have thought that would have play a while ago. And in the future we have Star Wars The Old Republic coming with a subscription-based model. So this is the prevalent method for payments in the MMO industry, at least in the Western. I know the Asian markets are a lot more free-to-play games, but here in the US and the Western Europe, we have mostly subscription-based as our main MMOs. So games like Dungeons & Dragons, Age of Conan, Guild Wars, and Lord of the Rings Online are trying to buck that trend by using some form of free-to-play. So, I'm not really sure if free-to-play is the future for MMOs. I think it might be, though, because it allows you to reach a ton of players that you would not normally be able to reach. Like, Dungeons & Dragons was basically taken off its deathbed by going free to play, because so many people that would have never played before and spent more money on it started playing it. They realized they liked it, and they started buying from the microtransactions. That gave them a huge source of revenue that they didn't have before. So free-to-play can really breathe life into an old game. And then you have games like Games Online where they were already doing well. They saw that free-to-play was a good market to get into and got into, and they started doing even better. So free-to-play is definitely something that can save an MMO, but it's also something that can increase the success of an already successful MMO. So it could be something that we start to see more and more of as we have MMOs coming out that will start out free-to-play or start out with a section of it free-to-play like Age of Conan is now, or like Guild Wars 2 where you buy it and there's no subscription fee. So we definitely will start seeing more of that as companies are starting to realize that they can make money off of that even though it is free. So subscription-based MMOs seem to be losing a lot of popularity. World of Warcraft has been losing a lot. That's expected because it's so old of a game and so many new MMOs are coming out. But the free-to-play game has a lot of options. Because if you think about it, a subscription-based game, if the person has no interest in playing it, they're not going to want to spend $15 a month to play. But then if your game is free to play, the person will have nothing to lose trying to stop the time they spend playing. So they'll download it, try it, and if they don't like it, that's great. Got at least a person about it. And they didn't like it, they didn't like it. But if you get the person to like it, then they'll keep playing it. They'll realize, hey, there's some armor or a weapon that I want to make transactions. They buy it and keep doing that. There's more players that do that frequently. And you start making a lot more money than you would if you had them all paying $15 a month because you have this much smaller player base. Now, there are always going to be free-to-play people that spend no money on microtransactions. I know I'm one of those people. I don't like to buy microtransactions. I like to just play the game. But there are always going to be people that will spend on the microtransactions. So it's definitely a viable business model, even though it was previously thought that it was basically a money pit, that you couldn't support the servers with a free-to-play model. So now pretty much the common standard in MMOs is, if you are failing, switch to free-to-play. That's basically what's been going on. Warhammer Online has been expected to go free-to-play for a long time now. I would definitely play it again. I love that game, but not enough to pay $15 a month. There are just too many bugs, not enough support. So it could definitely breathe the life back into games. Now, I think the future will be of MMOs will likely be the microtransaction model. The Guild Wars 2 model, I'm not sure if it's enough to support a game, to support all those servers, all the content updates. I mean, it worked with Guild Wars 1, but NCSoft is a large company. I'm not sure it would work with, like, the smaller companies that don't have as much funding. Microtransactions do get you a considerable amount of money if you can grow your player base enough. And then there's also this model that Age of Conan uses that can get you a mixture of microtransaction and subscription revenue. So, one of those two is going to be the future of MMOs. I definitely believe that subscription-based is going to be gone. Within the next few years, I think subscription-based is just going to go down the tubes, it's going to be gone. So one of those two free-to-play models will probably step in and become the new standard for MMOs, which I am actually very excited for, because there are tons of MMOs that I would love to try, but I don't want to pay like 5 different subscription fees for MMOs, so I can only limit myself to like 1 or 2 that I want to try. But if all of them are free to play with microtransactions, or all of them are free to play to a certain extent, and then you have to pay a subscription, I would try all of them. So definitely excited about seeing free to play becoming a bigger part of the Western society. I know it's already a huge part of MMOs in Asia, but great to see it coming to the US. Games of this quality, like Age of Conan going free to play, games like Guild Wars, those are really high quality games. Those are games where the quality rivals that basically the ancient standard. That is like I don't know. Basically, the first thing anyone says is it better than World of Warcraft? Not better in the sense of, do you like it more? It's more in the sense of, does it run smoother or as smooth? Does it have any bugs? World of Warcraft, as much as I hate it, it does have great track record for keeping bugs out of the system. I mean, Blizzard does a great job with that. I'm not a fan of the gameplay, it's very tedious, but we are seeing games that are as high quality as World of Warcraft starting to go through the stuff. Lord of the Rings Online is probably the closest to it that's free to play right now. If you want to classify Guild Wars as free to play, I'm going to classify it as free to play just for the sake of this argument. Guild Wars is close in quality. Age of Conan, I'd say at this point, there were terrible bugs in the beginning. I bought it at launch and played it for a few months, and then played it for a few months in 2010, and now it's definitely at World of Warcraft quality now. The bugs are pretty much ironed out. So, we have those that are World of Warcraft quality that are now free. And then we have Guild Wars 2 coming later this year. That is going to... That's my most anticipated game of the year. It's that or Skyrim. Because those are really unbelievable looking games. And Guild Wars 2 looks like it could finally be the game to dethrone World of Warcraft with a if Guild Wars 2 is able to do that and selling World of Warcraft or substantially fancy subscriber base with that free-to-play model, it would make waves in the industry. You would start seeing every MMO coming out with one of the 3 free-to-play models, and subscription-based MMOs would be gone. That would basically be Star Wars The Old Republic would be a dinosaur by the time it's released already, because the industry would have already been gone to free-to-play games. But The Old Republic is one of those games where you can survive on subscription-based, because it has that built-in player base that will want to be there. And plus, it's shaping up to be a quality game. I mean, I'm not sure if you can play it, but BioWare always does a great job with their games, so it should be a good game. It should be good enough to keep a considerable amount of subscribers, but it's one of those games where it already has a built-in audience, even if the game isn't that great. People will stay. DC Universe Online, not great of a game. People stayed though because they love the DC Universe. Lord of the Rings Online is another example, but they went free to play anyway. Even though they probably could have sustained themselves with all the Tolkien fans that want to stay in the universe, and they are willing to pay subscription fees for it. But they were able to go free to play. Now, Lord of the Rings does offer subscription fees just as Age of Conan does, but it has much less restrictions on free to play. So you can basically play the entire thing free to play without feeling left out. So that's probably going to be the prevalent, either the Age of Conan model or the microtransaction model. The Age of Conan and the Lord of the Rings Online are pretty similar, but to different extents of what they limit on the free-to-play. So that model I can see easily taking over in the future, or the microtransaction, because it just brings in so many more players than subscription-based. It really is great for players and it's great for companies. It's one of the few times where something is great for players and great for companies at the same time. All these games for free, and companies make more money than they normally do, so it's definitely a great thing. And I can't wait for free-to-play to start becoming the industry standard. So, let me know in the comments what you think is better, subscription or free-to-play, and which subscription-based game and free-to-play game you want the most. Alright, that's it for this episode. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.